Here's my honest review of Spring Drop 2025. Obviously, I'm not a developer. This isn't my game, only my feedback. Feel free to share yours as well, just keep it civil. We're all people. So here's everything coming in the Spring Drop with my opinions in a few sentences or less. Dry grass. Honestly, the desert was lacking a lot of features, so I really think this is an excellent idea. I think the texture's cool, and I really just love overall what it adds to the atmosphere of the desert. Falling leaves. Perfect. 10 out of 10. Terrific, subtle ambiance. It's been in like everyone's mod pack since I really don't know when, but beautiful, brilliant, love it. Firefly bushes. I get it. I understand it was controversial somehow when they were first proposed, but I'm just glad we're finally getting them. I love that you can move them around. Feels a little bit weird that they're coming from a bush and not just like general ambient particles. Doesn't really feel like super natural or Minecrafty, but whatever. I do think though that they should really only blink at night, because have you ever seen a firefly like during the day when it's bright outside? I mean, we did just get the new eye blossoms, right? They make those open and close at night. Can't we have at least a little bit of a similar idea with this bush too? It just feels weird to see it during the day. And you don't even get the particles during the day too. They only come out at night. So there's no point in seeing lights on a bush. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Overall, it's cool. It's cool. We're moving on. Bush. Love it. Another one of those like little subtle changes, but I just absolutely love this. I think the texture is all right. Not really sure what doesn't sit with me, but you know, maybe it'll grow on me. But speaking of grow, where's the too tall variant? We have too tall variants of like basically every other flower, every other grass, every other bush. We even have too tall ferns. Like, can we not get a too tall bush, please, somewhere? Ambient sounds. Absolute peak. And I love that they are like block placement dependencies, not biome coded. That's actually genius. But I love the fact that you can just basically add these ambient sounds wherever you want. I think that is beautiful. Absolutely perfect. Wildflowers. In my notes, I have raw. Next question. Also more, please. Like more of this little flower thing, purple specifically. That'd be great. But yes, overall, yes. Cactus flower. Cool, I guess. Wish you could farm them like the same way that you farm normal cacti, just in the same type of farm instead of having to build two different ones, but whatever. I guess that gives you an excuse to build another cactus farm that's just slightly different. I do also appreciate that you can place them like on pretty much any block, so you can just add these wherever. I think that is pretty cool, and I appreciate that. Leaf litters. Not a huge fan of these. The concept is good. It's just the execution feels poor. And I know the sentiment around the texture is divided at best. I'm not really sure what it is. In this update, there's like half the textures look really good, and then the other half are just like unsettling for whatever reason. Like they just don't feel quite right. And I think the leaf litters is like victim number one of that. I think if maybe it weren't too harsh, I'd like it a little bit more, but really I don't know what doesn't sit well with me. Maybe it'll grow on me. Spawn eggs. Cool. Some feel wrong for sure, but I'm excited what this might mean for like the enchantment books, because I think like likely those will be next. If we're changing up how the spawn eggs look, we're changing how the potions look. Feels like the enchanted books are pretty much next on the chopping block. Chicken variant eggs. I get it. I like the utility. They're cool. I mean, you know, I understand it, but come on, really? Read the room. In this economy, the inventory is bad enough. And now we've got 2 new blocks to pick up randomly whenever we're walking around. Really? Come on. It's cool. I really don't think it was needed. Okay, next is a fun section. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really a fan of any of these new animal farm variants, but I'm not really sure why, but here it goes. The pigs, they just feel off. Like, is this supposed to be a boar? Where's the cute factor? You know, where's the cute little muddy pigs? Where's the charm? Because I feel like it's not here. And Mojang does such a good job with like everything else in their game. These textures just don't feel like they have that formula written into them. You know, like they don't feel like something that Mojang would produce and ship as confidently as they have so far. For the cows, I mean, I get that we have a cold cow, but like not making the cold cow a Highland cow is absolutely crazy. Like, where's the marketing team in any of this decision making? Because if Minecraft had Highland cows, they would sell so much more merchandise. Like, it's not even funny. There's so many people out there that would start playing this game just because they added cold cows. Feels like a huge missed opportunity. And the chickens. I really want to like it. I think the mohawk is really, really funny. It just doesn't feel right. Don't love them. It's just gross. And this one, the sandy chicken, the warm chicken, whatever, it just doesn't feel right. Like it kind of looks like a hyena, like a little hyena. It doesn't feel like a chicken to me. And I don't know. It just doesn't sit right. Oh, and sheeps. We need actual variants. Like I get that they technically have 16 variants, but they also really just feel left out. And little texture changes that were technically parity changes should not count as a new feature. Like we need one other kind of sheep, two maybe, that would be cool. How are you gonna give us 9 wolves and 1 sheep? Like feels like it's a bit of an uneven playing field here, but whatever. And I want to say it feels like we're being robbed right now, but I'm glad we got something at least. Don't get me wrong. I am glad that we got at least a little bit of a change. And it's not to say that these textures are the end all be all. They very well could come in next update, add 2 more variants for each animal. The next update after that, 3 more, you know, we could eventually be getting a lot more variants. And reflecting on it a little bit more, I think the biggest issue I have with these textures is that they don't feel natural. Like I've never seen a pig that looks like that. I've never seen a cow that looks like that, or a chicken, let alone looking like whatever that is. And there's a lot of different breeds of chickens. And I genuinely couldn't tell you that I've seen any of whatever the Minecraft chickens are trying to be. And honestly, I think that's the problem with these, is that they don't feel like something I've ever seen before. So my brain doesn't click that, hey, that's supposed to be a cow, not just some random blob of colors. Maybe, I don't know. I really just gotta sit on it more. Okay, moving on. We have the new features and some gameplay changes. Lodestone. You can craft it with iron now instead of netherite. Beautiful. Love it. Bundle chest loot. You can now find bundles in village chest loot, which is terrific. Love that. Inching closer and closer to an inventory update. Fingers crossed they really just add backpacks, because I think that would fix so many problems, but this is a good little band-aid for now. Wandering trader trading trades. Peak. More of that, please. And since we're on the topic, I think it'd be cool to have different trader variants based on like biomes you're in. So if you're in like a snowy biome, you can spawn a temperate trader that has like all the new warm desert grass and all the stuff you get from warm biomes. I think that would be cool. And you know, you kind of help you if you're stuck in a cold biome for a long time, you can't find a desert. It'd be cool if one of those guys showed up and you're able to buy some like stuff that isn't around you. That'd be neat, instead of just having like a completely random inventory. But I also feel like that would be asking for a little too much. So I'm okay with this change, and I'm just happy for it. Happy to see the little guy get some love. The snout. Cows now have a snout. We truly are in the greatest timeline. I might not love any of the texture changes that they did with the new variants, but the cow snout was beautiful. Perfect. Loved it. Random camel spawns. Yep, agreed. Should have been added from the start, to be honest. Puppy personalities. Sure, whatever. I don't know who asked for this, but okay, cool. Fallen trees. You're gonna add fallen trees without adding any of the other concept stuff from the Birch Forest update? Okay, I see. And it really would be a bigger change if they weren't so rare. Like, woohoo, you can find one fallen tree in an entire forest. Wow, crazy. I know it sounds super cynical. I'm glad that they're adding a lot of parity changes. It just feels like who cares, really? Now, my tweaks, my little changes, little thoughts on some small improvements. Leaf litters just don't look right to me, and I think it would be a little bit better in my mind if they started maybe at like green and then slowly transitioned into brown. So you could put like one of them down in a block and it's like it's a newly fresh fallen leaf. And then as you add more to the pile, they start to slowly decay and then eventually become dead leaves. Because just seeing all of these dead leaves all over the forest, I think throws me off a bit, and it just doesn't feel like there's enough variety. And I get we're going from absolutely nothing on the forest floor except for grass and the occasional flower to having all of these leaves and stuff everywhere. And I get that. It just doesn't feel right, you know? Like, I feel like if you're walking through a forest, you don't just see all the dead leaves unless you're walking through like at fall. I feel like it'd be more natural if there were a little more color variation in the leaves. Not to even mention all the new detail opportunities it would add if we had like a varying color thing. Doesn't matter. I'm getting ahead of myself. I think it'd be cool if we had a little bit more utility, but I'm happy with what we got. Just doesn't sit quite right with me. And I know I already said it, but I need me some 2 tall bushes. That's absolutely crazy that we got bushes and not 2 tall bushes. 2 tall ferns, 2 tall dry desert grass, 2 tall regular grass, but only 1 tall bush. Come on, I mean, really? All in all, this update feels like there's a whole lot of nothing. Like, there's a lot of features, don't get me wrong, but it's a lot of subtle tweaks, and it doesn't really feel like there's any poster tweak that we're all interested in. Like, there's no new biome, there's no new building blocks, stuff like that. So it's really hard for people to think of this update for all of its parts and not for just one thing. Like, if we were, for instance, to get like a new desert biome along with this update, that would be the title card, the poster of this update, and we'd be able to say, hey, yeah, all this stuff in one place absolutely looks really cool. But since it's a lot of stuff in a lot of different places, it really just feels like we're not getting as much as we would. And I'm not quite, and of course, I don't speak for the community. I'm speaking for my own personal opinion. I don't think I'm going to be updating to this update for a while. I think this one I might just completely skip, because I feel like there's not enough here to get me to want to update all my stuff and enjoy the new features. And that's sad, because I do really like some of these features, but just nothing is quite grabbing me. And I think that's really unfortunate, but I kind of expect that from these size drops that we're getting. And I don't anticipate this to be the size of every new update that we get in the future. I'm sure that we are going to get bigger updates, smaller updates like this one, and that's okay. So we just have to deal with it, move on, and appreciate that the game is even being updated at all. So while it might have sounded like I was being overly critical at some points in this video, I was probably, and I'm not sorry about it. These are my opinions after all, but like I said, it's not my game. I'm not a developer, so I'm just kind of airing out my opinions, my thoughts, and who knows, maybe you guys thought the same, maybe you thought differently. I'm sure you'll let me know. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, people of all ages, this has probably been one of my most rambliest videos. But if you enjoyed it, I kind of enjoyed making it, so maybe the next drop that comes around will receive a similar video. Anyways, I'm still rambling. I hope you all have a wonderful day.